Today we're here with Mrs. LaHaie's wonderful 5th hour class, joined by both Mrs. LaHaie and the illustrious Mrs. Gilman, as well as a multitude of wonderful young scholars. Today we're going to focus on two basic things. How do you collect data on plants, and how do you take care of plants? So, as all of you know, you'll recall you saw the earlier video about data collection. You can see here this is tray letter what? A, very good. And this one has the rock dust that was actually sprinkled on the seeds themselves. You have a second tray, which is tray letter B. And this had, of course, the rock dust sprinkled on the top or the surface after the plants have been covered by soil. The third tray, whoop, I hate when I do that. As you can see, is tray letter C. Well done. And this has the fish and kelp that's been poured on it. What that basically means is the byproducts of fish and seaweed are cooked and turned into a liquid. They're mixed with water, and it's poured onto the actual plants. It's called a foliar feed because you pour it on them, the leaves get those nutrients, and hopefully they grow, right? Now the problem is, if you went to the second floor lab, and soon you'll smell it here, it smells funky. It smells like dirty socks and garbage put together, and I'll make sure I do that I'll probably do it Sunday night so you can get a good whiff of it Monday morning as it sits in this warm room and begins to emanate throughout the room. And you'll think that your neighbor maybe has body odor, but that's really not the case. Mr. Koziak, one of the teachers here, came to me and said, "Mr. K, the lab stinks." And I said, well, that's the result of fish and kelp. The smell eventually goes away. Now what you're going to try to do, though, is describe over time how these plants look different. Does the tray C group of plants look better? Are they stronger? Meaning, are they thicker? Are they taller? Is the green deeper? Do they basically look like they're doing better than the other two trays? Now, I'm going to put the trays here so no students get captured on film. And you can see, once I turn the camera off so you're not caught on film, that there are some differences. I'm not going to tell you what they are because that would be cheating. But in just a moment, I'll put them on the table. We'll turn the camera off and you get a chance to look at them. But before we do that, I want to show you how to water and take care of these plants. Now, each tray has soil in it, but it's not true soil. It's called peat moss, and it also has some little clay granules in it. Okay? These need to be watered on a regular basis. Usually it's every other day, but you can see here, if you look closely, as you'll be able to do in a moment, it looks kind of crusty on the top. If it's looking crusty, it's a lot like your own face. If your face is looking crusty, probably a warm washcloth is needed. Get rid of that milk and the Pop-Tart debris from breakfast, right? As you guys know. When these get crusty, they need water. And what I'm going to do is show you how to water them now on film, and then I'm going to bring you up after we turn the camera off to see it at a much more closer look. Young lady in the front, will you move that way so you're not calling the camera when I do this? Jakarri, make sure you come in a little closer. When you water, you're first going to get one of these very expensive Bunker Bulldog watering cans. Again, $1 million watering can we were able to get from the federal government to help offset costs. It looks like an apple juice container, but I just put that on there for decoration because I thought the apples looked fresh and new. Okay? You'll take this, you'll try not to drink it, but if you want to, you can. The water's fine, but the bottle's old, so that'll be up to you. You start by doing a frame. Just go around the outer edge, squeezing lightly. Notice I'm not here jackhammering on the side, making it come out like a deluge or a flood. I go around, I go one more time, so I want to give it a nice deep drink. I don't want to just go and act like that's adequate. Because think about it for yourself, if you're all crusty in the morning and you splash water on your face, you may not remove that debris. Or if you're thirsty, you probably won't take one drink, you'll take a nice big glass full of water. So these need the same thing. You notice here, I'm gently squeezing it. Some of them are falling over a little bit. That's to be expected. As long as you don't put them in a big puddle, they'll pop right back up. You put them in a big puddle, they may not pop back up, and then I will weep. I will weep openly and freely. You notice I'm doing it in a pattern, and that's really my mom's fault, because when she waters something or does anything, she has to have a pattern, and I have to have a pattern too, otherwise I mess stuff up, and I'll leave half of it dry and half of it moist. Now I'll wait just a second. It looks like things are settling down. You can't actually touch these. Look at this. Imagine that. Ooh, it feels like it's getting a little moist. Oh, also, by the way, over the course of the week. It doesn't hurt these to be pet. You want to pet them just a little bit. It helps to make their stems stronger. And if you're really conscientious, you can ask Mrs. LaHaie for extra credit if she does that. I don't know if she does. And you can talk to them. Okay? You can say, hello, tomatoes. Please grow. I'm hungry. Now, you think that's silly, but you'll remember from photosynthesis, aside from whatever I've been eating, drinking, or consuming, what comes out when I talk? What gas comes out when I talk? Air comes out. It could be smell depending on what I've eaten, but as you guys all know, I have breath that smells like a fresh spring day. What else? What's the chemical composition? What chemicals come out of my mouth when I exhale? What? Carbon dioxide. What do plants enjoy taking in so that they can grow? Please, anyone? Water and carbon dioxide. And then plants give off amounts of what? Quit saying air. Oxygen. Yes, very good. So, in the morning, if I won't say her name, but if E.T. comes in a little early and says, Mrs. LaHaie, may I talk to the plants? Feel free to come in and just speak kindly to them. They don't like harsh words, but they do appreciate that bath of carbon dioxide. Okay? So it's soaked in just a little bit. I'm probably going to give it one more treatment. Again, the pattern, nice and slow. It does not need to be a hurricane. It does not need to be a tsunami of water. Gentle. And you'll know when it's good because you'll pick it up and it'll feel like it's just a little heavier than it was. That means that water is soaking down in. And you've effectively watered. Once you've watered, you need to make sure they go back on the rack. Now here's the tricky part. Don't dump these trays because I will be furious. And you don't want to see me have a temper tantrum. It's really ugly. I hold my breath and refuse to exhale, bang my head on the floor and that kind of thing. Here's how you do it. Set it on halfway. Take the other hand, put it underneath to support. Slide through. Don't let go until you know that it's on both sides. If you try to be slick and do two hands and drive it like a pizza tray, you're going to dump it, and all those plants will go flying out. And then I will weep. Weep openly. Very good. Thank you. So that's the end of it. If you please turn that off.